The gentleman does not sleep. He is watching some of the thunderstorms whipping up in this thunderstorm watch box. New severe thunderstorm watch box now into portions of Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas Panhandle region there. And that's going to last until midnight Central Time. As we take you, though, into the southwest, you can see Utah, Arizona, into New Mexico and Colorado. These thunderstorms just getting going and still working their way east. Lots of heavy rainfall still training over some of the same regions, so flooding a bit of a concern there. As we work our way off into the plains, more thunderstorms into Montana, and here's the line of thunderstorms still working its way towards Miles City, through Miles City, I should say. So eastern Montana dealing with that. Some of those have had the potential for tornadoes, though we haven't seen anything just recently. Also want to talk about the flooding factor because there's been a lot of that through Minnesota, Iowa, South Dakota. And look at the Minnesota River at Henderson, which is southwest side of the Twin Cities, coming down from record flooding. So they actually managed to top that record level there with more than 700 feet, and we're still coming down at this point in time. So there are a lot of problems, unfortunately, for some of these rivers where we're still adding water, still draining them towards the Mississippi there in southern Minnesota. More rainfall coming at you as we head through tomorrow. It's some of the same thunderstorms to start off the day, sliding through places like Wisconsin into Chicago for the afternoon. And then there could be more thunderstorms developing late. Our severe weather risk greatest will be around Kansas City, but again, flooding concerns extend well to the north. Well, an exciting new feature. Let's talk about the southern U.S. because the heat continues. There is this high pressure system that just has not let up and really isn't going to be breaking down much even as we head through the upcoming week. So know that we are still struggling with upper 90s, if not triple digits. Now, around some of that heat, we're going to find some of those thunderstorms firing up. Already starting to see some of those through the Texas, Oklahoma panhandles into western Kansas and eastern Colorado. So we'll be watching on some of those areas to get a little bit of action. But Oklahoma City, 75 for the low. You head to Dallas, 81 for the overnight temperature. This is some of the challenges that we have with heat across the South. We don't get the relief at night. So as bad as it is during the day, which may be near or even just a bit above historical average, it might not seem that far from our typical, you don't find much relief at night. So as we do it day in, day out for weeks on end, it does build up and it does take a toll on your body. So high pressure is still in control here, still pumping that heat right on in, which means we've got a lot of it out there. No relief in sight. Showers, thunderstorms farther north towards Kansas City, but even Wichita misses out on some of those thunderstorms, which is why we're still headed to the triple digits there, as is Oklahoma City, 102 for that high. Dallas, 101 for the day. Lubbock, Odessa, all in the triple digits, as is El Paso. Certainly a lot of heat out there for Friday. No relief on Saturday. There are some thunderstorms trying to form along that cold front, which shifts south of Wichita as we get through late Saturday. So there will be some areas across Kansas that start to notice that relief, just not in Oklahoma, not of the heat remaining for us. Notice what's going on. Those thunderstorms just kind of arcing around, again, that high pressure system where Dallas barely sees much in the way of cloud cover. We don't see a lot across Arkansas. We just continue to deal with that heat as the thunderstorms eventually start to drift through some parts of northern Oklahoma, southern Missouri around the Ozarks as we head through Saturday afternoon and evening, but even that is limited. Well, let's head to the northeast. Friday's forecast in the north central plains does get a little bit cooler and drier, but through the upper Midwest and into the Midwest itself, we're dealing with thunderstorms. And unfortunately, in some of the same areas that have been hit with heavy rainfall through the past couple of weeks. So those river levels are still very high. And depending on where they set up, they can still have some impacts. There are a few rivers that are still expected to crest heading into Saturday morning, like the Minnesota River on the southwest side of the Twin Cities. So more thunderstorms there. That's going to help keep the numbers down, as well as in Chicago, where we get a little bit of that rain. Meanwhile, off towards the west, we've got some thunderstorms, Sioux Falls, Omaha, even Kansas City. Once you get southwest of that, it's the heat that we'll be talking about. Those thunderstorms, though, strong to severe, possibly around the Kansas City metro area. But look at the wide area from Denver to Chicago, up to Duluth and into Minnesota. Severe thunderstorms are possible. We're going to be talking about damaging wind potential, possibly a few isolated tornadoes. But again, flooding, big factor in some of those areas that have already been so hard hit by rain. It might not even be just one round of rain. Look at these thunderstorms starting off the day. Some wet weather to begin with across Iowa and into Wisconsin. And then as we go later on in the day, more of those thunderstorms try to shift their way on through as more energy fires up. The good news is as we transition into Saturday, busy weekend, gearing up for the holiday week, look at all the dry air that comes in. So if you want some relief from the humidity, you want some relief from the heat, and you also want relief from the rain, this is what happens as we head through the start of the weekend. Saturday, cooler, drier air busting its way on in, which means pretty quiet times across the north central tier of the nation, and the numbers reflect that too, but we'll watch severe